So let's talk a little bit about PHP now. The core difference from PHP and how you code it for websites at least is that you don't have a separate PHP file typically. You just write it within your HTML. And so the way that you do that is you actually create like a special tag for it. This is that tag. You always open it with, well, your angle bracket and then a question mark and PHP. This tells the server that the website is hosted on that this is PHP code and it needs to run this before it actually sends the HTML over to the viewer's computer. Then you type in whatever command, whatever PHP command, whatever instruction you want it to do. In this case, we're using the echo statement, and then whatever you want it to actually print. So I could actually just type hello. And then we finish the command with a semicolon, and then we close the tag with a question mark and an angle bracket. Now, because I don't have any HTML between these two PHP tags, I actually could just leave it like that, and that would be fine. You don't actually need the white space, I just want them to line up to look nice. This would work. One command finished with a semicolon, the other command finished with a semicolon, and then since I'm done with PHP for right now, I close the PHP tag. If I run this, it should say hello world, hello. Ta-da! Amazing, right? Now, why do I care about this? Why don't I just use HTML? There's a variety of reasons. But for an example, let's just play a little bit with variables. Variables you cannot do with HTML. And then there's a variety of other things you also can't do with HTML. But variables are a simple and easy one. And there could be a useful reason why you would do it with PHP instead of HTML. So let's say that we are creating a huge bunch of pages that all have a similar structure, and we want each one to have different text based on what that page is about, but we don't want to have to go through and hunt through all of the code. So let's say that we have something like we have a title. We have a title for our page. Maybe we call it I'll just go with language. The language resource. And then we have a paragraph element. We can have another paragraph element. Here we have name of language about this language. All right, and not amazing. I'm just going to copy this real fast. But let's say that this is what we wanted our page to more or less look like. If I stop and rerun, will it rerun it? No, it's going to be dumb. That's why I copied all of this. I can refresh. And I can paste it in. If I were to create a free account on Replit, I could actually save this instead of having to copy and paste it, but it's fine. So if I run this, I now have this basic thing, right? I don't actually want this in there. I'll delete that. But let's say that we just have this, right? And we want to have in here different languages and some information about the language. Maybe also when was it created, whatever, right? Now we could go in and have like one of these for each language that we want to have on our web page, and we could go in and try to add in all this information. Now this is very simple, right? This is very easy to find, but if you look at the code from websites usually, show page source, you can very quickly have a lot of content that looks like a bit of a mess, and trying to navigate through it to find exactly what you want to change can be difficult at times. Let's go to Replit. If we view this code, and I make it, can I view it larger for you to see it? I can, nice. Move this over. All right, I've got a lot of code here. And I've got some CSS, so styling languages. And I've got, oh, it's all a bit of a mess here, right? So trying to find the part that I want to change is not necessarily super easy when you're looking at code like this. And let's say that I wanted to create a whole bunch of different pages like this, and I was going to have a whole lot more stuff in here, and I wanted to be able to very easily change them without having to hunt through all the code. I could use PHP for that, and it wouldn't be too hard to do. So I'm going to open a PHP tag. I'm going to use the echo command again, semicolon to finish the command, and then what am I going to put here? So here I'm going to put a dollar symbol, and I'm going to call this lang name. Here I'm going to create a There we go. I forgot to close it. I'm going to call this lang about. I'm going to use camel case to make this more legible. And lang year. Right? Now up here, even before my HTML code, because I can do that with PHP, I'm going to create variables that these are connected to. So PHP, and then let's close my PHP tag, and I'm going to just define those variables. And it's very easy to do in PHP. We do lang name equals, and we'll actually call this PHP, semicolon, lang about equals a server-side scripting language, semicolon, and lang year equals, I think that was 1996. Is that correct? $1995. All right, so when you're creating variables, you always start with a dollar symbol, and then you write the name of the variable. Most of PHP is not case sensitive, but variable names are. So if I do lowercase, these two are not the same. Notice if I go here, right, both of them are highlighted, lang about, but if I go back up here, it's not highlighting this because they don't match. So those are case sensitive. You can use letters and you can use numbers in variable names, but you can't start with a number. So if I run this now, it should drop these in to my little layout here. Let me copy all, refresh, and we'll actually try it. All right, paste that in, wait some more. Oh, it wasn't done loading. What are you doing? Oh, I'm hitting weird things. It doesn't like my shortcuts. All right, paste. There we go. Run this. There you go. You can see it worked. Right. Now let's say that I wanted to make 500 more of these. Right. Instead of having to go through and hunt through all of the code, which this one's simple, but remember what Replit looked like when I viewed the source, I could just go in and modify the variables at the very top of each page to then change what content was going to be on that page. So that's one of the most basic things to do with PHP. Try it out, play with it some, play with mixing some of these basic echo commands with HTML. Try mixing it with headers and image tags and links and some of those other things. Try putting some HTML actually into some variables and using that with the echoes as well.